Chatelet Bridge Burners, Happy New Year. First and foremost, been a couple of changes since my last talking video by the fire. It's been pretty busy. And today, I'm going to talk about how and why I quit my last job. No, how and why I got fired from my last job. Sorry, how and why I quit was my last video. And I had ended the video talking about how I just got hired somewhere else. And that was about a month ago, and I've been fired. So I'm going to tell you guys that story, and I think you guys will be able to relate. And also, this video, I'm not going to dedicate it to anybody, but I made a video like this before, about a year ago, called Jobs and Women, and I made the comparison between the two, and I basically said that if you had a job that made you work way too much and didn't pay you enough, then why the fuck would you stay? It's just like a fucking woman. If you have a woman that makes you work too much and doesn't fucking blow you enough, then why the fuck wouldn't you move on to get something better? You know? And if you can't do better, then that's one thing. Then there's a good chance you won't even notice that you're miserable. Because you won't be miserable, because again, it's not fucking beneath you. But, you know, if you have no skills, for example, if you have no skills and you're a bad worker, then you're grateful for anywhere to hire you, and most menial jobs will be fucking hard for you. So you're not gonna have the fucking problem of being better than everybody. So yeah, that's it. So if you're triggered, leave a fucking comment. So yeah, in case you can't tell, one of my, I'm not even gonna say it's a pet peeve. It's worse than that, whatever the fucking word is. But I can't stand being late. I'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. And this fucking last job, Green Line Hose and Fittings, which sells hoses and fittings. It's just a fucking standard warehouse job. And they buy hoses and fittings and shit from other companies such as Pulsar, Dixon, Tompkins, and they just resell them to fucking customers for many times the price. And yeah, I was the fucking monkeys that worked in, I was one of the fucking monkeys that worked in this place, and it started off okay. It was pretty easy, but they shoved me in a fucking department with a lot of responsibility, which is fine. I like responsibility. I like a challenge. I like the prospect of not working at a dead-end place. And you know, for the past 5 years, I've had my own business, and customers come and go, but jobs come and go as well. And for the first year and a half, I was able to survive completely independently, and then I had to get a job to help me re-up my fucking stock. And I stayed at that job for a year and a half, and it was 4 days a week, about 40 hours, and I had Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. So it was fucking perfect. And, you know, as far as jobs go anyway. And I was still doing my main fucking business, and I was working here 4 days a week, and I had 3 days, unconventional days off. I had Sunday off, so I could go out Saturday night if I wanted to, but I rarely did. And I had Monday and Tuesday off to go skateboarding, which was fucking perfect, and make YouTube videos. That's when I started making YouTube videos, by the way. So that job paid a lot of money. It paid $18 an hour to start, and in a year and a half I was getting over $20 an hour. And because of a glitch, I started at 15, and it was 2 months before I got to 18. And I had to reapply because I got mistakenly hired as a temp. And yeah, anyway, whatever. I went through the motions, and I went up through the ranks, and I eventually became a grid leader there, which is a sort of supervisor, but it's a supervisor that actually has to work. But it was really cool. I had a good section, and I had a team that was really fucking loyal to my section and to me. So that was fucking cool. But the point is, that job, it only took 4 days a week out of my schedule, which is still a lot, but it's not such a big deal. And considering what it was, it paid pretty well, actually. You know, $20 an hour, not bad. You know, I can live with that. And there was a lot of fucked up shit that happened at work, but like a lot of people weren't pulling their weight, and we worked in a chain. So if the guy in front of you didn't stack his boxes properly, then you had to fix it. So at first I had to train everybody to do everything the way I wanted. And you know, I had to keep correcting people, and it was tedious, but for that reason, they put me in charge of my own section. And a lot of people, you know, they didn't have the fucking patience or stomach to do what I was doing and to make sure everything went along smoothly. So they just did the minimum, and they went with the flow, and you know, they did a shitty job, and they were never given any responsibility. And you know, that's one thing. Those guys were my fucking drones, and I didn't even want those guys in my section. My section, it was kind of tough to work in, not because of me, but kind of because of me also. They used to call me the Nazi because I ran a fucking tight ship. Has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. See my last video for some anti-Semitism. Don't forget to unsubscribe. I lose subscribers with every video, so why should this one be any different? So anyway, yeah, getting past the salt. Yeah, so I had responsibility in this place, and it was cool. And I did, you know, a lot of the time I would show up in the morning, and it was operational 24 hours a day pretty much, and certain things had to be done for the next shift all the time. And a lot of the time in the morning, things wouldn't be done because they were really busy the night before and they just didn't have time. Or whatever, or someone got sick and you didn't. Anyway, it's fucking irrelevant, but if I were to show up 5 minutes before having to start my day and realize everything's fucked up, to me that was unacceptable, because we'd spend an hour setting ourselves up for the day, and we'd lose an hour and we'd end up staying an hour at least, and the whole day would get fucking derailed. So every morning, you know, I would show up minimum half an hour before my shift, ready to work, and I'd do a once over in my section. And, you know, I didn't have permission from the boss or anything like that, and I wouldn't punch in yet. You know, I started at regular starting time. This was for free. So I would just go in the back and I would check everything and make sure everything was done. And if something needed doing, I would fucking do it. Again, for free. Because I knew that taking an extra half hour would save me and everybody else in my section more than half an hour. Yeah, I know, it's kind of fucking communist thinking. I know. But I knew this, and it didn't bother me. And same thing at the end. I made sure at the end, no matter what, that everything was set up for the next shift. No matter what. I never made plans right after work, because I knew something might happen. So if I finished work at 4, I'm not going to make plans at 4:30, because any number of things can go wrong. So I never fucking cared to fucking stay late to make sure everything was prepared for the next guys. And staying late, usually I would get paid a little bit, but even if I punched my card and I was on my way out and somebody dropped something, I'd stop and help them pick it up, even if it took half an hour. And usually I wouldn't go punch, because you have to go find a boss and they have to approve it, and I don't fucking really care about that. And we had other employees there, and this was a kind of cool place, because when you finished your section, a lot of the time you could go home. You could either go home or you could go help another section that wasn't finished yet. But people didn't want to go help another section, and they didn't want to go home either. So yeah, I know, what the fuck. So my whole philosophy was that let's finish our section as soon as we can, and then when we're done early, we have the choice. We can go home, we can go help someone else, I don't give a fuck, as long as we fucking finish. So because people didn't want to go to another section, or for fear of every section being finished, they didn't want, because there's always work for you at this place, because the place had to guarantee you fucking 9 or 10 hours of work a day, even if you finished early. So even if you wanted to sweep the floors, you were allowed to stay and sweep the floors until the end of your shift every day. But people didn't want to sweep the floors, so they would ask me if we could work slower, so that they wouldn't have to go do something else. And I would say, no, fuck you. get the fuck out of here. Go work in the fucking easy section. Go work in the yogurt, which is where they put women and old people. And yeah, I really hated that shit. I really fucking hated that shit. And the bosses took note, and obviously they appreciated it, because they could trust me. And I'm not saying, yeah, I know what you're thinking, you know, good little simp. And, you know, doing the boss's work for them. And that's true. That's true also. But I wasn't doing it for the bosses. I was doing it for myself. And later than that, I was doing it for my team. Because I developed a pretty strong bond with my coworkers. And, well, with some of them anyway. One of them died. But that's another video. So, basically, this place shut down. And it's too bad, because they could have stayed open. But they didn't fucking listen to me. So 100 people fucking lost their jobs. And so this last place I worked at, Green Line Hose and Fittings, a place that fucking fired me. They did not run a tight ship. Not whatsoever. And people would go off at lunchtime. They'd go smoke weed and stuff. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I never did that. It's not that I have a problem fucking smoking weed at work. On the contrary, I don't give a fuck about that. But people would go off and we had an hour for lunch. And they'd come back half an hour late. And the canteen truck would pass by half an hour before lunch. And we were only given an hour break for lunch all day. No morning break, no afternoon break. But the canteen passed by twice in the morning. And if you wanted something from the canteen, you could go outside and get it and stay outside for a cigarette. So people would stay outside for half an hour in the morning. And then half an hour later in the morning when it would come again. And they'd go to lunch. And they'd take an extra half-hour break in the afternoon. This is the smokers, remember? And I'm sure you guys have all had this dilemma. If you work in restaurants or places that don't give set breaks, but you're allowed to go out for a cigarette, the people that smoke go out all the fucking time, and the people that don't. And the people that don't say, well, I'm going to take up smoking just to fucking go outside, or I'm just going to stand outside every time someone has a cigarette. But a lot of the time, people that don't smoke can't bring themselves to do this. It's not a question of smoking or not. It's a question of fucking work ethic. And again, my whole thing is that I want the job to be done. I want it to be finished efficiently. And I worked in the shipping department, which was the fucking anus of the fucking warehouse. And I had to do shipping and receiving. And it was me and another guy. And there were 7 other people fucking placing stock and filling orders. And they could never fucking do that on time. And they would drag their feet all fucking day. And at the end of the day, and throughout the day, all the orders had to come through me and my coworker, regardless. And people would fucking slack off and they drag their feet. 3 out of the 7 employees would show up late every day, between 15 minutes and an hour. And a lot of the time, so maybe you're thinking, how does this affect me? Well, if we're getting the same salary, it fucking affects me because we're not being held to the same fucking standard. And this place is no different. You know, I'd show up early every day and make sure everything was all right. And, you know, I'd leave late every day and make sure everything was all right. And everyone's showing up late. And whenever I'd be in the back, I'd be overwhelmed with work. And the boss would show up to the back and he'd ask me where everybody else was. And I'd say they're outside smoking, waiting for the fucking canteen truck to come. And he'd say, oh, okay, great, we have a busy week, so I'm going to need you to double time. And, you know, pick up the slack and, you know, do this and this. And I notice you have 5 free minutes. And it's like, yeah, okay, fuck. Like, so it was like this for 2 months. Yeah, I said I stayed there for a month. I stayed there for just under 2 months. And every day it was something like that, and I always did it. And one day my partner wasn't there, and I was alone, and I'd only been working there around a week, and I wasn't used to the job yet. And the boss came up to me and he told me I was going to be alone and that I needed to fucking not fuck around or something like that. And I said, okay, fine. And I was alone all day and it went fine. You know, I had to work a bit faster, but everything was fine. But this was bad, fuck. Because I shouldn't have worked faster. I hate thinking like this. Because then he came to expect it. And then the next fucking day, my colleague came back and they dumped a whole bunch more work on us. Because he said I did so fucking good yesterday. And, like, that's not the fucking point. And the next day, we had all this extra shit to do. And everyone else was outside half the fucking day. So, after a few more weeks of this, I know, it's my fault. I set a fucking bad precedent. So, after a few more weeks of this, I decided I needed to fucking make a change. And we just had a busy day the day before. And I busted my ass receiving all this fucking stock that the 7 other employees were supposed to put away. And it was all fucking in a pile for them to put away. All neatly organized. A neatly organized pile. And they were showing up in the morning. Only fucking 4 of them were there. Fucking 3 of them hadn't shown up yet. 3 of them were over an hour late this day. So there's a pile of stock neatly organized. And there's 7 guys and they have nothing to do. Well, 4 of them. So one by one they come, they look at the pile of stock, scratch their head, look underneath, and turn around. And another guy comes, he looks at it. He takes a bag of screws. You know, instead of like filling a cart with shit, he takes like a bag of screws, he leaves. Another guy comes, he looks at it, fucking leaves. And the fucking boss shows up and he's like, hey Greg, he's like, I need you to put this stock away. And I'm like, yeah, we need to talk. So I go in the office and I'm gonna check the battery just a sec. Alright, all good. So we go in the office and I ask him, whose job is it to put that shit away? And he said, it's yours. And I said, okay, well how is it that my job is not only to receive stock, but to ship stock, and also to fucking place stock, and their job is only to place stock, and we have the same salary, and they're not doing it. I said, how is that? And he said, oh, you think, and his eyes narrowed right away, because he knew what this was, fuck, it was a fucking shakedown. So, he says, you think I don't notice how hard you work? And I said, how can you? I said, you're never in the back. I said, you come around maybe once a day just to say hi to people, and that's it. You don't fucking want to know anything that's going on, so you don't know anything that's going on. And, you know, the only way you could know that I possibly worked hard is if somebody told you. And I said, the only other person that knows that I work hard is the other guy in my section. I said, the warehouse manager is not going to fucking tell you that because he's a fucking slacker too. He's late every day too, fuck. And he's not going to tell you that someone is fucking better than him. And it doesn't take much to be better than him. This guy's worked there 8 fucking years. He's fucking late every fucking day. And he lived fucking 15 minutes away. Like, man, I lived further than everybody. I was the fucking first one there. No, second one there. Like, but whatever, fuck. Like, man, fucking retards. So, I said, how can you know how hard I work? And he says, okay, well, you know, you got me, but, he says, don't worry. He says, in 3 months, you get a raise. Everybody does. And I said, yeah. I said, it's fucking bullshit. He says, I beg your pardon. I said, yeah, it's fucking bullshit. Because you just fucking told me that my job is fucking 4 times what the other people's job is. And we all get the same fucking salary. And they all fucking stand outside all fucking day. And I ask you for more, or I ask you to make sure that we do the same amount of work. And you tell me, don't worry about it because everybody gets a fucking raise in 3 months. No, fuck you. First of all, everybody doesn't deserve a fucking raise. I deserve a fucking raise. Or, keep the fucking pay the same, but make sure everybody else fucking works. And he says, well, how do I do that? I said, well, first of all, make sure they fucking show up on time. And he says, what, you would have me firing people that show up late? I said, yeah, exactly. And he says, what, like 3 straight? And I said, no, fucking once, you're fucking gone. I don't give a fuck, man. I fucking hate people showing up late. And he says, yeah, but you have to understand why people showed up late and what made them. Maybe they have problems at home. Maybe they're depressed. I said, maybe I don't give a fuck and it doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a shit why someone pukes. You have to fucking swallow your fucking puke like a fucking girl would and get back to fucking work. Like, man, like, oh, but I'm having problems at home. Nobody gives a fuck. Watch, I'm gonna hire someone that doesn't have problems at home versus your guy that has problems at home. And my guy will show up on time and your guy will show up late and he has problems at home. And we'll see. We'll see whose fucking company does better. So he says, well, look, you know, what do you want? He says, there's always a solution. And I said, yeah, but your solution this time is to do nothing. And I said, that's no good. And I said, I either want fucking twice as much money because I'm doing 4 times the work. So I said, I'm asking very fucking modestly for a small fucking pay raise. Or, again, you fucking tighten your shipping back. I said, there should be cameras in the back. I said, everywhere I've worked had fucking cameras. And I said, put the first one in my section. Like, because I'm the one that's suggesting it. So I have nothing to hide. And that's always how I got away with fucking speaking my mind at work, because I was always the first in and the last out, and always for free, and I actually cared about the fucking job, so I can say whatever the fuck I want, and most of the time, I'm right. So I told him to put cameras there, starting in my section, and he just laughed, you know. And I said, okay, well, whatever, fuck you, you know. So he says, anyway, he says, I just care that the job is done at the end of the day. I don't care who does what. And I said, yeah, you're wrong for not caring. I said, that's called fucking communism, where the doctor gets paid the same as a fucking mailman. And he says, oh, you're the doctor in this analogy? I said, yeah, you're goddamn right. And he says, look, he says, just calm down. He said, all that extra shit, you know, all the stock to put away, so I'll make the other guys do it. Don't do it. Just stay in your fucking section and, you know, just take it easy. He says, you're doing a good job and we appreciate it. And I didn't say anything. I just fucking got up and left. So I get out and it's the start of the first lunch hour. And man, I have so much more to say about this place, but I'm going to make more videos about it. So it's the start. There's a lunch hour at 11:30 and another one at 12:30. And it's 11:30 now, and when I went to the boss's office, it was 11 o'clock, and the canteen truck just got there. So at 11:30 I walk out, and these fucking slackers are just coming inside, because they're outside for half an hour, because the boss was fucking busy, so they took advantage and they took an extra long break. So while I was telling the boss what I thought was wrong with the company, everybody else was outside taking a fucking free break, and then as soon as I got back, they all go to lunch. And my lunch is later. And my lunch is supposed to be at 11:30, but there's a guy that would fucking talk to his girlfriend in the break room on FaceTime with no earphones. Fucking volume full blast. And I fucking asked him to wear earphones, and he told me he'd consider it. And then I told them that whatever he fucking listens to, earphones or not, we're not supposed to be able to fucking hear it because it infringes on our fucking freedom and our peace and quiet. And if you don't want to use earphones, then you should go somewhere we can't fucking hear him. And he said he'd consider it. And the fucking boss comes in because he hears this guy yelling at his girlfriend. And the boss is about to tell him to fucking quiet down. And then he sees that it's him and not someone else. And because this guy's fucking black, not the boss, the employee, the boss is like, oh, hey, oh, I heard your conversation. It sounds pretty funny. He's like, carry on. By the way, you're doing a great job. And then he leaves. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna. And there's another guy that works here who's 62 years old, and he just reads his newspaper in the break room, and he's worked there for 8 years. And this guy has to deal with the other guy making noise every day during the 1 hour that, like, is for him. He's fucking not happy, not fucking happy. So anyway, yeah, so I ate an hour later because I tried to fucking do something and he fucking didn't fucking listen. and the boss didn't fucking do anything about it. So short of smashing his phone, like you can tell, it's a fucking badly governed place. So, and that's what I'd have to do. I'd have to smash his fucking phone, or I'd have to come in with my own shit and blast it, like really loud, so he fucking understood. And I did one day. I played fucking Moon Man. So, yeah, Moon Man fucking reacts. So whatever, fuck. Like I said, my job is to fucking drag that Overton window further to the right, and it'll settle somewhere in the middle where it's supposed to be. But it can settle on the far fucking right, and that'd be fucking fine by me. So he tells me, the boss, oh, it's almost done. So the boss tells me, don't worry about the extra shit, everyone else will put it away. And I go back, and everyone's like extending their break, and everyone goes to lunch, and I'm basically the only one there. And I start putting away the shit by myself. And the boss comes in back to talk to the manager, and he sees me doing the shit that he told me everyone else would do. And he doesn't even nod to himself, you know, like whatever. I know that like something was fucking wrong. And he goes and he talks to the warehouse manager, and I know what he talks to him about too. He went and he told the manager that I fucking ratted on him. And then he asked me, by the way, how's Greg as an employee? And the manager obviously said he's shit. Like, we have no room for a bad attitude here, especially if he's a snitch. And so he turned him against me. And then when I was on lunch, the manager fucking told everyone that I was getting fired, so no one fucking talked to me the rest of the day. And fucking 15 minutes before the end of my shift, fucking boss fucking called me into the office, and he's like, yeah, so I thought about it all day, and yeah, he's like, you have no right to talk to me like that, and you insulted the way I run the company, so he's like, you're fired. He's like, get out. So I start to laugh. He's like, why are you laughing? This is because your fucking stupidity fucking astonishes me. I said, I tell you easy things you can do for free at no cost to you to make the company better and run more efficiently, and you fucking refuse me. And I said, it's a fucking joke. And he said, I beg your pardon? I said, yeah. I said, man, you just want to paint over the rust. I said, you don't understand it. It needs to be fucking cut out. And new metal has to be fucking welded and shaped and put into place, and it has to be fucking primed properly so it doesn't rust after. I said, you just want to paint over it. You just care that the fucking job gets done. You don't care who does what. I said, there's fucking 8 of us in back, or there's 9, and only 2 of us fucking work. You should care that the other 7 don't work. You should fucking care. It's not even for spiteful reasons for myself. It's for the fucking company's sake. It's for my sake. It's for your sake. This is basic stuff here. And he says, oh, well, then maybe you should be manager and not me. I said, yeah, maybe, fuck. I said, fucking definitely. Seriously. And he says, yeah, I feel bad for you, because he says, you think that good work is not rewarded. I said, it's not rewarded. This is how you fucking reward me. You fucking kick me out. And I said, look, very fucking rarely will an employer fucking acknowledge, recognize, and reward your good work. Meritocracy, it's very rare. It's ideal situation, I agree. That's what I would love. But sadly, it's not the case. What happens is that they notice you work hard, and they don't comment on it, and then they just see how much fucking weight they can pile on your back. And they're just gonna pile more and more weight on your back until it breaks. And they promise, in 3 months you'll get an extra 25 cents. Fuck you. That's like 8 years before I fucking make a worthwhile fucking salary. It's fucking stupid. It's shit. It's not worth it. And anyway, fucking good riddance to you. I just fucking left, and that was a week before Christmas. And yeah, it's probably time, fuck. But yeah, I think there's enough room in the fire. So that's the place, fuck. It's a hoodie I was wearing in my last video, but it's fucking dead to me now. Fridge burners, TV, fuck. Like, fuck this place, man. I'm gonna heat my fucking house now. Or fucking explode. But I knew about a week before that I was gonna leave. and it was tough. I fucking couldn't make ends meet. Not only financially, but time-wise. It was costing me a huge amount of time. And the place wasn't exactly close, and I was spending a lot in gas. And everyone lived around me, too. And, man, it's a law of diminishing returns. Once again, it was costing me more to work there than I was bringing home from working there. And a lot of the time, I hate working Monday to Friday. I fucking hate it. I think it's for fucking slaves. I fucking hate it with a passion. I would love to fucking have my Mondays and Tuesdays off, or every day off. And I hated not being able to take care of my business until like fucking 7 p.m. and everything's fucking closed. And then the weekend, man, it's like fucking confining me to the fucking rat race, like all the time. I fucking hate it. I am not made for it. Some people love it, some people thrive on it. I am not one of those people. And, you know, I have a lot more to say about this, about self-sufficiency and everything like that. That's always been my plan and my goal, but lately more than ever. And I'm gonna make a lot of videos step by step outlining my plan to become as close to 100% self-sufficient as possible, and to reduce my monthly bill as close to zero as possible. That means no more paying rent, you know, reducing fucking electrical consumption down to a minimum, and finding a sustainable way to heat my fucking house. You can even heat water with these things, by the way. You can heat your hot water tank with a wood-burning stove. You can do everything with this thing. This thing is fucking key. Unfortunately, it's part of the place that I'm renting right now. And unfortunately, this place is full of fucking holes. And it's a sinking fucking ship. And long ago, you know, oh yeah, so before, my boss asked me, my ex-boss, he said, if you're so fucking smart, he said, how come you've had so many jobs? And he said, I've done this job for 30 years. And then he snapped his suspenders. And I laughed at him. I said, you gotta be fucking joking. And he turned red. He said, what? Because he thought I was gonna silence me. Like, I've been doing this for 30... I don't give a fuck, I said. I said, you show up at 10 and you leave at fucking 2:30 in the afternoon and you take an hour lunch. I said, you're here for 3.5 hours a fucking day, 3 days a week. And you show up and you walk around and you fucking talk about golf and shit, and you brag to me. You have the audacity to brag to me that you've been doing this for 30 years. I said, you might as well tell me you've been breathing for 30 years. I said, me working one day is worth more than 30 years of your fucking management, quote unquote, at this place. And that's another thing too, you know, some people don't fucking understand meritocracy, and they think that seniority is just something that you accumulate over time. Yeah, showing up is important, but at least fucking show up properly, and showing up is not everything. Performance is everything. Having said that though, like, I would never hire someone that shows up late. And I hate working with people that show up late. You don't have respect for the First Amendment in the fucking Constitution, then you're not gonna respect the rest. Because that's like saying, if the first rule is to obey the rules at work, and someone's like, oh, well, I don't do the first rule, but for the most part I'm good and I do a better job than everybody else. No, bullshit. Obey the rules and we'll build it from there. It's like an employee that shows up on time. Even if that employee has no experience, I would sooner hire him and I would sooner work with him than an experienced guy that fucking does whatever the fuck he wants, because he's fucking untrainable. He's set in his ways. And he's gonna capitalize, maybe, in a bad way, on his fucking years of experience, even though that's meaningless to me. It's his fucking lousy work ethic. 30 years of lousy work ethic doesn't equate to fucking 1 day of fucking heart. That's why Mark is my fucking ride or die. This guy, I've seen my roommate grow so much in the past 5 years since we moved in together. And he's just a willing fucking worker and a willing student. So with that, like, he can learn anything. You know, he films all my fucking skate videos. Filming videos for skating is fucking hard, by the way. It's very hard. Again, I keep saying I'm gonna make more videos about it, but now I actually have time to make all these videos, so I actually will. And yeah, the reason I have so many jobs is because I am smarter than you. That's why I've had so many jobs, I said. And it's called building a skill set, it's called building experience, and it's called the laundry's done, and it's called not settling for something if it's not good enough. If you work at a place and it's a dead end and you've gone as far as you can go, then you either stay there and you shut the fuck up if that's good enough for you, but it's never been good enough for me. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. Don't let anybody hold you down. And one of a guy I know, he asked me the same question too. Because he had the same logic. It's just like a fucking woman. A bitch asked me the same question too, years ago. And we're dating online a lot at the time. And she asked me if I dated online a lot. And I said, yeah. And she says, well, if you're such an expert, how come you've had so many relationships? And I said, well, A, I never claimed to be a fucking expert. But you just answered your own question. It's like saying, if you're so good, why do you have so much experience? Well, that's why. And it's you guys. You're the ones that are not good enough for me. That's why I keep passing you over for something better and something better and something better. And sometimes you think it's better and it turns out to be worse, and vice versa. And that's just the way it goes. And a job too, a 9-to-5 job, so to speak, working for someone else, I don't rely on this. I fucking hate having to do this. I am more than capable of surviving on my own. I know this because I've done it before, and I'm going to do it again. Customers come and go, but I'm going to get new customers, and I'm going to start new streams of revenue, and I'm going to walk you guys through everything that I'm doing, and I'd love to hear your ideas, and maybe I can give you guys some ideas as well. So now it's about 2:30 in the morning, and I just came back from a scavenging run for firewood, and I'm finding places in the time being where I can get it for free, or little to next to no work, and it's quite the challenge. But working out the mathematics of it and how much it would cost to fucking heat my apartment with electricity, with the baseboard heaters that are here, versus how much it costs to heat it in the wood stove, even if I have to drive around a little bit, or if I have to start the chainsaw, or if I have to do some work by hand and saw pallets or break them with a sledgehammer. So far it's worth it. I get about 10 to 15,000 watts of heat in this. I don't know how many BTUs it is, but it's about the power of 10 to 15 little 1,000-watt heaters. And my fucking work hoodie is fucking burning well in there. And yeah, I slept funny last night. I went to bed, or I fell asleep at like 9:30, and then I got up at 10:30 or 11, and then I went to get some wooden pallets from some warehouses. I go to the back of warehouses and I check the fucking dumpsters, and they throw out a lot of pallets. I go in my pickup truck. Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't do this. That's fine. You're happy fucking spending money? That's fine. Like really, I choose freedom over security any day. Everyone says, oh yeah, me too. No. Okay, prove it. And I'm going to talk more about that. I'm going to talk about my goals and my plans. But this video is already fucking running its course. It's probably close to around half an hour now, maybe the 40-minute mark. So, yeah, I've been slow on video production lately. It's been minus 30 here. And our pipes froze the other day in our basement. And that was a big fucking ordeal. And I had to do some shit on my truck. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, I don't think so, but I had to fucking change everything on the front brakes. I had to change a whole exhaust, I had to change a muffler, and some other stuff too, but it cost $2,000. And my snowblower that I got, I had to take it to the shop. It's been there for 3 fucking weeks. They haven't started working on it yet, and I broke a shovel trying to shovel what the fucking city left in front of my house, and we have snow removal, but they couldn't read the sign that they put up, so they only shoveled a third of my driveway, and they left a giant pile of fucking snow on the other side that's ice. Anyway, I've been going through a lot just trying to fucking get my basics figured out over the past like 2 weeks, but for the most part I'm all set now, and video production is going to resume, productivity is going to resume, and in about 5 hours I'm going to go pick Mark up, because yeah, it's 2:30 now, or around 2 o'clock, but I'm up now for the day, and I'm going to go pick Mark up, and we're going to go to Hudson, and we're going to go cut some wood, and we're going to get some more firewood, and that's that. So more on the job situation and being self-sufficient in that in upcoming videos. This I promise you. Most of my videos are, they're about that anyway. And my friend too, well, he's less of a friend now. We have less and less in common, and he's as blue pill as they get. He's a fucking giant fucking simp. But he asked me, you know, if you're so smart, how come you've had so many jobs? And yeah, because you're smart. So you've been pushing a lawnmower for fucking 20 years, and that's all you know how to do. And you only get $15 an hour. Like, despite all your experience doing one thing, yeah, congratulations. But yeah, why? And you know, this guy too, he's afraid to move. Yeah, because moving sucks. It's the same reason I have a truck. Okay, because I'm fucking independent. And I like being self-reliant and not having to depend or be beholden to anybody else. People say, yeah, but I don't need a truck. You can put as much in your hatchback. Alright, put whatever you want in your fucking hatchback. And never ask me for help, because I'm never gonna fucking help you. But I'll enjoy having my truck. You can buy your own. And I'll enjoy being fucking independent. But yeah, why do you always leave, you know, when the job is no good? Or why do you always fucking find a different bitch when the bitch is no good? Or why do you fucking change apartments when your apartment is no good, or when your landlord is no good? Or, you know, why do you cut off friends when your friends are no good? Because I am a man going my own way. That's why. That's why. And like, I'm starting to think now. I used to think, you know, that it was a gradual fucking process, but I'm starting to think now that you either get it or you don't. But let me know what you guys think. This has been a long video. It's been a while. I'm a bit out of touch, so forgive all my fucking mistakes and shit. And I'm going to edit this minimally. I'm just going to get it up there. So please leave a thought in the comments downstairs. Like, share, subscribe. I need subs, guys. I need views. But to the people that are here and always watch my vids, Jigga Jig Jones, man, I love your fucking comments, man. I hope you're good. And responding to the comment you left on the last video, I plan to let all you guys into my life as much as fucking possible. So having said that, Happy New Year, Gordon, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Shadowley.